Hey everyone, greetings. It's Naomi Wolf,
And Brian O'Shea.
and we are here within the Lair. We are not in the same lair because we're in separate places. Brian's in an historic small town in Massachusetts, and I'm in lovely Brooklyn. And Brian always scowls whenever I mention.
No, I'm just in a small little neighborhood here in Salem, and it's always when I do something live that Gino, our wonderful neighbor, decides to hammer nails or something.
We can't hear it, sweetheart. It's all good. It's the charm of
You
living
can't,
in a.
but you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can when you speak into the mic, sweetheart. Um, And we have a couple of really important stories to bring you and an unboxing, which I'm very excited about. So before we jump into the riots, which Brian is an expert on, and I would say really broke the story, at least in detail, about how these protests, starting with BLM, probably even earlier, are funded by NGOs. He found all the receipts very early on, over a year ago. But before we get into that, because I also want to follow the discussion about riots with a fantastic
What are
demonstration.
we unboxing? I'm so excited.
Yeah, well, so first I want to unbox.
I had a
So
moment of panic because I was like, I have nothing to unbox.
I can all unbox for both of us, sweetheart. And I also should tell you before we get into it, at Brian's request, that he's not feeling his best right now, hence the scowl. Handsome scowl,
Thanks,
Heathcliff-like
babe.
scowl, but a scowl nonetheless, because he was talking to a woman about our dog, who might be a pet sitter, and she's vaccinated, so now he feels
No,
sick.
no, no, no. Shoot, not her. It's just a woman with a dog, and we got into a political discussion, which was
Okay,
friendly. But
right.
as you know, anytime I have a chance, I consider Salem to be like behind enemy lines, and because it's so liberal here. And it was a good discussion. We should have more of these. And so I got very involved in it. So it went on for about half an hour, but in close proximity. And I get back here getting ready for this show, and I'm just like felt like a ton of bricks hit me. Like I felt hungover, like to a severe degree, and then I felt flu-like, and then it hit me. I'm like, God damn, she's vaccinated and in the healthcare industry. That means she's boosted to the max.
Oh my God. I,
Yeah,
I, I think I know who you're referring to.
she
Um,
has a big dog with a white eye.
Uh, well, that's really unfortunate. Brian, I should just say, feels really, really sick a lot when we are, in a plane with a lot of vaccinated people, or in a hotel where vaccinated people are congregating without good air circulation. I also can feel sick, but it doesn't hit me as severely as it does Brian. So my heart goes out to you,
Yeah.
sweetheart.
Mm.
I know our friend Dr. Ely would say, water and sunshine and sauna if you can, or exercise. That sounds really vile. And it's
Well,
not, this is not the end of it, because they're rolling out Arcturus, which is a self-amplifying mRNA platform, the RHHS, with our friend RFK Jr. at the helm. And this means that whether you choose to be vaccinated or not, people are going to be shedding this stuff on you, or it's going to be shedding itself. It's designed to shed itself on you. So we get to look forward to lots more,
mm.
illness bombs and grossness bombs in our beautiful planet, with what used to be pure, healthy human bodies. That
Well, and I was thinking too, like it was good to I have these discussions as often as I can, especially in this town. And it's good to have someone who you have these discussions, and when you feel some kind of like frustration and anger rising, it's important to like breathe,
Mhm.
because then you're going to get angry, and then it's going to turn into an argument, and you're not going to learn anything. And I
Mhm.
could see her doing it too. So it's good. I take these opportunities, but it's rare. And when I got back and I felt so sick, I was thinking, look, the way you divide a country is the way you conquer a country is by dividing its people.
Totally.
So I'm thinking, like, here I had a very interesting, mutually informative conversation from two way different sides of the aisle,
Do I
from
have to beat you
vaccines.
up, honey? Should I be feeling like anxious?
Well, no, no, it's fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it's normal in Salem for women to walk around with bikinis while they're walking their dogs. So
Very funny,
I'm
honey.
I'm just joking. But no, no, you shouldn't be ever. But the thing is, I'm thinking like here I would love to continue that discussion, but now I'm hesitant. If I
Mm.
see her again, I will probably avoid her because I don't want to feel sick
Don't
again.
want to feel sick. These people are so evil, and you're 1,000% correct. They started with 6 feet apart to divide people and keep them from sharing information, and now they've got so much shedding and soon self-amplifying mRNA that we're just going to be avoiding each other
Mm,
instinctively. And
yeah.
add to that the geoengineering, which makes the sky like literally white outside my window, what would have been otherwise a beautiful
Mm,
sunny June day. And then you don't want to go outside. You don't want to breathe those poisons. And it's so boring
oh,
looking
it's
that it drives
terrible.
you inside onto your devices. And so people are going to be increasingly fragmented and indoors and on platforms where they can be manipulated. So this brings us really well to two subjects. I do want to do my unboxing before we get into
Yeah,
kind of
go ahead. I'm
riots.
gonna put you on the main stage here.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart.
Hmm.
Um, well, okay. So Brian and I went to a really amazing event that we talked about a little bit 2 weekends ago in Columbia County for farm freedom, and we heard from a lot of fascinating advocates for small farms and farm to table food. And we both learned, and we had house guests, really two very distinguished farm food activists. And Brian interviewed one of them. And what was her full name, sweetheart?
Liz, Reitzig. Did I get that
Yes,
right?
Liz Reitzig. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
She's a
She's a raw
raw
milk
milk
mama.
advocate. And then we also had the wonderful Kristen Canty, who is a restaurateur with 4 restaurants in New Hampshire and Boston in a gigantic many hundreds of acre farm. And we learned a lot from them, but from the whole weekend, we learned that there's this like criminal persecution of farmers and legislation and centralization that makes it very, very difficult for farmers just to sell their products to their neighbors. You're not allowed to slaughter your own animal on your own farm in most or all states and sell it to your neighbors. It has to go through a packing house, a slaughterhouse, and a packing house, USDA approved, transporting poor animals from many states to their death, um, and creating kind of bottleneck in which farmers can't set their own prices. They're subjected to these middlemen. Same thing with big supermarkets. Big ag is squeezing out all the little farmers and buying up the land. BlackRock is buying up all the land, and people are really being harassed. Like we all know, and it was a big thing in the last election
Hmm.
about an Amish farmer who was fined, persecuted, arrested, perhaps for, I think it was for raw milk. And this, I think, moved a lot of people into the Trump column just because that's so un-American. And now Brian and I have learned that people who just want to farm and bring food to their communities and treat their animals and their land well, which is the most environmentally sustainable thing you can possibly do, even more sustainable than covering farmland with solar panels or, driving an electric car. They are treated like criminals. People have been fined for trying to transport raw milk across state lines. You have to sell raw milk in many states for dogs and cats. You can't say that it's for human consumption. And people have also been persecuted for other like crimes like slaughtering animals on their own property and trying to sell the meat. So there's a huge distribution problem here that was explained to us in detail by Max Kane, whom I interviewed, who's a farm advocate. Essentially, he cured his own Crohn's, very serious, he was dying, Crohn's disease by drinking raw milk and eating farm fresh organic food. And he's a passionate advocate. A lot of the people who were there, who are part of that movement, are advocates because they had some horrible health problem and cured it through better food, closer to the source, closer to the food supply, or unpasteurized raw milk. So he did something really smart and good, and I want to promote it as much as I can. And he built a platform called farmmatch.com. And I want you to go to, well, actually, I wonder if I can just call it up right there. I'm being really fancy with showing you my screen, but let's see if we can call up farmmatch.com. Do you see that? No, you don't. All right. Present or invite, video
Hold on. What are you trying to put up a banner?
I got it, sweetheart. I got it. There you go. Hey everyone, it's Naomi Wolf of DailyClout. Have you ever wondered why your brain can feel foggy even when you're eating clean and exercising? It might not be burnout, it could be parasites. Groundbreaking research from Dr. Alan McDonald reveals a direct link between chronic parasite infections and neurological diseases, such as multiple sclerosis. Parasites can cause inflammation, nerve damage, and long-term cognitive decline. More reason to do a full body cleanse at least once a year. The wellness company has a solution for you, ivermectin and mebendazole, the gold standard parasite solution now combined in one cleanse combo, designed to eliminate harmful invaders and support your immune system naturally. Medical grade, not some trendy herbal gimmick. Fill out a quick intake form and you'll get a 3-month supply shipped straight to your door. Maha is officially here, and the wellness company is making hard to get medications digitally accessible so you can live your best life. Head to dailyclout.health and use code DailyClout to save $60 off plus free shipping on all orders. Cleanse your body today. Get rid of parasites today. Thank you. So there you see farmmatch.com. You can find food. You can enter your zip code. I'll do a zip code here, and you can see, look at that. Right in our area, there's Pleasant Pastures, Miller's Organic Farm, and there's Max Kane's own round table of food. So 3 options right in our area. And I also searched for people who deliver to Brooklyn, because I'm not in the country right now, and I thought it would be very difficult. And Dutch Meadows came up, and they deliver right to Brooklyn. I've got a bunch of boxes in the corner there, and the unboxing this morning was just unbelievable. So I really recommend that you go there. It might seem for some products expensive, but you also have to think about quality and about the nutrients that you're putting in your body. Other products are the same or cheaper than supermarkets, and I'll show you some of what I mean. But I ordered I ordered vegetables and dairy and meat from Dutch Meadows, and FedEx just dropped off the boxes. Again, not really more expensive than a supermarket. Probably cheaper than Whole Foods, and you're not buying from halfway around the world, adding all that pollution to the air. You're buying from, in this case, I think it's Pennsylvania. So not like right outside Manhattan, but not so far away. So here is a bunch of carrots. They were a couple of dollars, beautiful fresh carrots. I got so much raw milk. And for some reason, this doesn't say only for pets. A lot of farms in other states have to say, as I mentioned, just for cats and dogs. You have to ignore that. But it's beautiful raw milk with cream on top. So delicious, totally unlike pasteurized milk. And Max Kane has a lot of information. So does Liz Wright.
And that was the host of the event, right?
Yes. Yes. On the kind of bad mouthing or propaganda against raw milk right around when Rockefeller medicine developed and was centralized. Interestingly, when people stopped being able to see doctors who could just tell them that food is medicine. So look at what I'm opening here. Eggs are such a point of contention. This is a beautiful box full of, I think, like 24 eggs, fresh, right from the chicken, right from Happy Chickens. And I'm so excited to be eating them. These beautiful eggs right from the farm.
And what are they, on dry ice? How do they come?
Well, that's a good question. They come in just little with like plastic ice packs
Hmm.
with gel. You can recycle them. And then this beautiful, beautiful meat. Oh my God, I'm thrilled.
What is it? I'm sorry, what's that a bag of?
It's a bag of meat, sweetheart. I know you'll be happy.
Oh my
about
God, it
this.
looked like a scene from Dexter. I thought it was a body part.
Well, it's the cow's body parts. But I'm excited.
What are you doing? What are you doing when I'm not there, Naomi? What's really going on? Do we need to investigate everything on you?
I mean, may this be
is my wife a secret Dexter type?
I mean, this is my shopping vice, I suppose, but it's better than Bergdorf's, I think. It's good for all of us. How is this a bad vice, sweetheart? I think this is a good vice. It's good to be obsessed with.
So you're confirming that vigilante murder is a good vice. Okay, got it. Moving on to the next subject.
So one reason I'm so excited about this is that Brian and I actually criminally bought half a cow from a local farmer in Columbia County, a friend of a friend, and it wasn't the best meat, I will say, although we were grateful and thankful to be able to buy such fresh food directly.
Definitely not the best meat.
The source. So the point is, we're excited to have. I'm excited. I know Brian will be excited. We've got chicken. We've got ground beef from those happy cows. Well, they're not happy anymore, but they had a really good life. Chuck tender steak.
Sorry.
I'm teasing you. And we've even got uncured sweet beef stick for snacks for those long road trips or snacks for your teenage son. So excited to be cooking those. And I just wanted to share that with you. But above all, I'm excited about the quarts and quarts of raw milk and cream. And darling, even raw milk yogurt. I know you're not a yogurt fan. This is raspberry flavor, so I think it's going to be delicious. And what?
I'm just so excited.
Okay, you're not feeling well. You're not that excited about my grocery haul.
Hey, I'm always excited about food.
You will be, sweetheart, because in addition to how beautiful and cool it is to open, and you can feel like the life force coming off of these food products. I can't. I'm from California. Maybe Brian is skeptical about that. But in addition to that,
we have farms in Maine.
I've
never seen one in San Francisco, though.
Exactly. I'm a city girl, so I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And Brian,
I know.
Country, he's like cow stuff, But baby, I guess what I'm trying to say is, looking over there at the very sustainably packaged boxes, I just feel really good that the money that would have gone to some gigantic supermarket chain that's mistreating its workers and and twisting the arms of the farmers. Oh, here's cheese. This is raw Dutch cheddar, you guys. Raw Dutch cheddar with all those enzymes and nutrients.
Guys, by the way, this is life at home, where Naomi just doesn't get food. You have to. She shares with you all the reasons why it's important that she got that food, and so you get a whole education. Me and my 13-year-old will sit there like.
Yeah, but you guys are.
Then we're trying to watch the game. We're like, okay, because Naomi, here's a little secret about most men.
Yes.
If it tastes good, we don't care.
You say that now, but you both are thriving with more.
We care what's in it, and we appreciate it, of course. Yeah. Like, I don't eat a lot of processed foods because, all the reporting you've done at DailyClout about, I hate to be this guy, but I guess I don't hate to be this guy, but it seems like the stuff they put in food has a really adverse, like the bad stuff they put in food seems to impact men's libido.
Totally. I broke some of those stories.
That's what I was saying. So I do pay attention.
Right. And I've noticed that I don't want to drag your 13-year-old into this, but
that'd be weird.
We talked about how there's sperm suppressants in breakfast cereal, processed.
What? Wait, what? What? Which ones?
What?
Please tell me it's not in Crackling Oat Bran.
Maybe it could be. You'd have to look at the bottom of the ingredients list, but for sure it's in things like Cheerios and
right.
Kellogg's cereal, which is very interesting because Kellogg's was part of an effort to kind of roll out cereals at the turn of the century as a breakfast alternative to eggs and bacon and meat, partly to drive down men's strength and libido. I mean, there's no way around it. So now they're actively putting sperm suppressants not only in cereal that's processed, breakfast cereal, but this is why I'm so worried about kids' school lunches, because they give, I'm not going to name what teenager or preteen, but they give preteens I love pizza and calzones every week.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's terrible. And the pizza dough, the processed dough, has sperm suppressants in it. Horrible.
Yeah, by the way, he's not eating that stuff anymore.
I know. So you may mock me for my Jewish mother hovering, but Jewish wife.
I'm not mocking you. I'm mocking near you. No, I never mock you.
You can mock near me, but it really makes a difference.
Well, Naomi, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm happy to state that our sponsor, Native Path, has none of that stuff in their products.
No, it's very pure.
And while we're at it, why don't you just tell people about Native Path really quickly?
Well, it's
anything you want.
I don't do it that way, sweetheart. You can do it that way if you want.
Okay, well, I will. She's talking about like promoting our sponsors, but it is true. And this morning I woke up super thirsty again because I was up watching the LA riots and stuff. I should have been getting some sleep. And just, you wake up, it's, basically sleep is 7 hours of dehydration. So I wake up and thank God I pre-mixed this, had it in the fridge, but this is Native Hydrate from Native Path, and followed by my, green fruit infused collagen shake that I make every morning with farm fresh eggs, raw milk, collagen, all that stuff, and mixed berries if I have them, and a banana. And thanks. Well, it just kind of gets your morning started the right way. Take a walk outside in the sunlight, get plagued by some left-wing nice person. But other than that, I think and actually I recovered from the vaccine shedding quickly, I think because I start my mornings that way. But go to Native Path. They are our sponsor. They're a great sponsor too. I love these guys. The collagen and the Native Hydrate is what Naomi and I get. So it fills you with the aminos, and there are no bad things in it. And Naomi can attest to that because she wouldn't let me drink it if there were. So visit nativehydrate.com for that product. Forwards, one at a time.
And while you're running your business or funding your mission or managing your portfolio, you should be aware that lawmakers are writing rules that could wipe you out overnight or harm your clients or your property or your community. LegiSector is your early warning system. Whether you're a small business owner tracking new tax codes, or a nonprofit watching for grant changes, or an investor scanning for regulatory shifts, LegiSector keeps you informed in real time. Search bills by keyword, industry, or issue, state and federal, and get a dedicated legislative portal for your industry, ranging from cannabis to infrastructure, family issues, hedge funds, taxes, accounting, mortgages, real estate, 15 different sectors. LegiSector gives you the edge to pivot, plan, and protect what you've built. Go to legisector.com and start tracking legislation before it tracks you. Sign up for a free 30-day trial now. Thank you.
/DailyClout, or go to nativepath.com/DailyClout. Get 10% or more?
10%, baby.
10% off. I recommend bundling these two, the Native Hydrate for your mornings and the collagen you could have that stuff all day. We put it in everything. And just really quickly, collagen is the mortar that holds your body together pretty much and keeps you limber and ache-free and keeps your hair good. Nice and thick, teeth, nails, skin. I'm feeling that way, and it wasn't, if you recall, before I started taking collagen.
Honestly, I'm not going to say I was a little worried about that, but I was.
I was worried. I saw on the Blink camera when I was chasing the bear about a year ago, I was like, who's that bald man? Oh, that's me. What do I do?
I have seriously noticed how thick and lustrous your hair is since you're taking collagen, darling.
It really is. So that's our sponsor, Naomi. Back to the unboxing.
Sure. No, I've just unboxed. Like, you've seen the main things. There's a lot of raw milk in our fridge, but that's what I wanted to show you. And then we can move on to immigration. But I really wanted to cover that. And I really want to urge people, they are not sponsors of ours. They don't advertise with us. We just love them. And of course, even if they did, it doesn't affect our editorial endorsements. But go to farmmatch.com, because you'll feel good, not just about how delicious the produce is, but the fact that you're making animals happy, you're making family farms thrive, you're protecting land from development and centralization of agribusiness, and you're saving a lot of fossil fuels from being burned, whatever they do. So that's farmmatch.com. Honey, can we use the rest of the time we have together to talk about the riots? You know so much about it.
Yeah, riots, or I might even say irregular warfare.
More like it.
Okay, so I've been basically live streaming on Investigate Everything for the past 2 nights. I took last night off, and I've been trying to wrap my head around these riots. I put some B-roll in the back while we're going, but the thing is, what's weird about these riots in LA, for those that don't know, riots started on Friday, I believe, and continued into last night in LA, supposedly opposing ICE deportations or ICE arrests of illegal aliens in the country. They're doing their job. And they all start the same way. It starts out daytime. Admittedly, those look like peaceful protesters. And then the violent protesters or the violent people come out, but they come out pretty quickly after the peaceful protesters show up. It's my belief, watching the same pattern almost down to the same timestamp, 1 p.m., peaceful protesters laying down in the streets singing Kumbaya and all that. And then within an hour, the violence starts. And it's an hour every single time.
Wow, that's
so. And they pop up simultaneously in different parts of the city. So it's my belief that much like, when Odysseus was trying to escape from the Cyclops, they, got underneath the Cyclops sheep and they rode out of the cave underneath. I feel like that's kind of like the violent people are in and among the peaceful ones, because you'll notice the peaceful numbers tend to dwindle as soon they seem less crowded. There's less peaceful protesters right before the violence starts. So that tells me they went and they leave the peaceful part and they start lighting things on fire and break. And they're showing up with military style backpacks with masonry hammers, and they're hammering out
those backpacks, those military age immigrant men who walked across the border and were stationed, as you noticed first, and then I agreed and noticed, stationed in barracks-like communal structures around the country, shipped strategically around the country. The backpacks were part of it. They were given these backpacks, right? And so now you're saying they're military backpacks to the riots?
Well, I mean, look, what's a military backpack? I mean, you could get them anywhere. Any backpack is a military backpack. What I'm saying, though, is they're showing up prepared to break brick mortar out of the sidewalk, because there were pallets of bricks left yet again for these LA riots, and people were reporting that on X. I haven't confirmed that.
No cameras documenting who left those pallets.
Of course there's cameras, but it's LA. You think we're going to see that footage? We're never going to see that footage. These are pallets of masonry bricks, kind of like, I think they're like 2x6s, concrete bricks, and they're just leaving them. You'll see these pallets left in strategic locations throughout the city. Now, normally, and I saw this in Washington, D.C., I saw this in New York, and I remember at the time, that was prior to BLM, thinking, oh, they must be doing a construction project, or it doesn't raise attention back then because it happens all the time. New York's always under construction. But that's what happened. And then people are grabbing these bricks. These are, it's like a weapons dump. So the police got wise this time and they secured those pallets, but the rioters were prepared and they brought these, these masonry hammers. They kind of look like, something, if you've ever seen a masonry hammer, it's kind of like crescent shaped and it just knocks chunks of the sidewalk right out. And this guy's handing them out. And then the other one I saw, and again, a lot of these are on X, but the other one I saw was like actual locals shooting at the ICE vehicles. Now that I don't think it's been my experience in riots all over the world. It's like a block party. Like, so you'll have the protesters, then that leads to the violence, and then you got your local thuggery that's like, hey, we get to shoot at cops, woohoo! So I don't think that's all coordinated. It doesn't look like it.
Right.
But it doesn't need to be, because the way good propaganda or good insurrection works is you only need a small percentage of people to get it rolling, and then it becomes, as we used to say, a self-licking ice cream cone. They just have to push that boulder to the top of the hill, then it takes care of all. And the momentum of people are like a plague onto each other. They start mimicking each other and get caught up in the riots and in that spirit of things, that dark spirit of things. So I see a lot of that happening. And then I can't believe Mayor Bass is sitting there saying, we didn't need the National Guard. Everything was under control. Yeah, it wasn't until, Sunday night. Monday night, because that's when they brought in tons of cops. But prior to that, and we were watching it live on Saturday, prior to that, you had the California Highway Patrol trying to get people off the highway and getting besieged from the bridge above, and no one coming, like people throwing things down on them, lighting fires, and these guys are hiding under the bridge. And that's not even their jurisdiction, except that it was the highway, and LAPD they didn't close off the ramp, so people were blocking the highway.
So are you saying, as someone who, sorry to interrupt, Tony, are you saying,
go ahead.
As someone who has been in combat situations, right, that the LAPD was probably given instructions not to intervene and not to save those guys?
Yes, I could. Absolutely. They claimed that, and that's messed up, because look, I don't agree with it, but I get it. From a political standpoint, if it was ICE, I could see LAPD not wanting to help them or not being allowed to help them, even though personally I think anyone in uniform should, your allegiances and your oath is to the people. You should break those orders and help your fellow uniforms.
Right.
That aside, I see, but what's messed up about it is it's the California Highway Patrol.
Right.
Like, those are their brethren in the state, and they just left them. It was bad. I've got
that story. That seems like a huge story.
The beauty of it is I have everything recorded. I turned on KCAL News, local LA CBS, and they were the only channel of all of them that was just keeping the stream going.
No.
Okay, keeping the stream going.
But you just said that it looked like one segment of the California law enforcement abandoned another segment to a very dangerous situation. How is that not being reported?
Well, so that one, and that's the thing. It's not getting out, and I'm going to make sure it gets out, because anyone who saw it felt bad for these guys. They're under a bridge, and their cars are out there, and one brave. I'll get this. I'll put a montage together, but one of the brave California Highway Patrols ran out to save one of the vehicles, because really that's their only way out if no one came to rescue them. But they were throwing road signs down like spears. They were raining bricks down on these guys, trying to hit them. It was horrible.
Massacre. It's a miracle.
It could have been a major massacre. I wish I had it ready for this. I didn't realize we were going to go into the detail. And then there's a lot of weird things too. So then, anyways, to wrap this one up, it wasn't until it looked like, until President Trump wasn't backing down on sending in troops, And then he made it clear, no, I'm definitely sending the Marines. I think he used the threat of the Marines, who are deployed. They're just not out on the street. They're in place, as far as I know. But I think he had to do that level of threat, because finally on Monday night, there were tons of LAPD shutting this stuff down, and it was a major show. But here's the other problem. Like, I'm looking at these riots, and I'm like, what's the point? Like, you're not stopping anything. You don't seem to care much about immigrants or illegal aliens, because they're looting, C shops, which are convenience shops. Many of those who are owned, at least in our area, by immigrants, legal immigrants. They're ransacking, and these neighborhoods are ransacking are, there's a lot of first and second generation Americans and a lot of immigrants. So what is the point of these? I don't know, but I am curious to see how many other crimes are happening in LA and surrounding counties, because to do that show of force and tell, basically say, hey, look, we're doing it now. They brought in people all the way from Ventura County. Right. It was so many cops. I'm thinking there's a lot of cities left unprotected at that point. So was it a diversion? Was it a litmus test? Like seeing how they react? I don't know. I mean, there's always, with analysis of this, you always have to figure in the unexplainable, like just humans act the way humans act. Riots happen. People start throwing things. Most of them don't even know why. But in this case here, it could be a real estate play. Like those values will drop.
Sure, I think it would be. Yeah.
It could be. Don't forget. Well, here's the scary part too. J.J. Carroll and I, on our previous show, Unrestricted Invasion, we reported in January 2024, and J.J. was
border agent,
25-year border agent, in San Diego sector. We reported in January of 2024 that the LAPD graduated their first class of illegal aliens in uniform.
So shocking and unlawful. I'll never forget when you guys reported that. And it was like, why would you do that unless something very nefarious is in the plans? And I don't even see how it's like legally possible, because I'm sure the LAPD is part of a chain of command that goes up to at least the governor, but certainly the commander in chief, I'm guessing, right? Like, isn't there some chain of command?
Well, I mean, the FBI has jurisdiction on investigating dereliction of duty, as far as I know.
So if you're a citizen of another country, your legal allegiance is to another country. It's not even legally possible to have law enforcement that are not U.S. citizens, and it's so dangerous.
Well, Naomi, how about this? When a lot of the illegals came through the southern border, as Ben Bergquam of Real America's Voice reported, and hat tip to him, he's been down there since the beginning. They were finding piles of IDs. So how do you vet people to become police officers if you don't even know who they are? Right. And they suspended biometrics and DNA sampling. So you could literally have the LAPD being repopulated by Tren de Aragua or MS-13 or
cartels.
Yeah, or a terrorist group, which they're kind of one and the same these days, but still.
This is insanity.
Like, if I get pulled over in LA, I'm starting to see why on Cops and all these reality shows, so many people flee the police in LA when they get pulled over. I don't know if I'd open my door.
Totally. You don't know who that person is. This is so scary to me, honey, because it really is manifesting what you and JJ have been warning about for over 2 years. A stealth invasion, move an army in, call them sad immigrants fleeing.
Totally.
Move an army in, quietly give them equipment.
Well, look, this is what happened to Russia with the Chinese, like in a different way, but the Chinese control the majority of Siberian timber.
Oh my God.
Because a few years back, the Russians, they notice, hey, there's some Chinese guys cutting down our trees, and I'll paraphrase, but they're like, hey guys, you really shouldn't be doing that when you get over across your border. They're like, oh, we're really sorry. We'll just take a few. All right, be out by next week. They come back, there's 100 of them. They come back, there's 1,000 of them. They come back, there's a whole town built. right inside their borders. So
Well,
it can happen.
Clever methodology, and it goes back to the Trojan horse. It's clearly an act of war, but it's so scary, honey, because there are Latin American countries, of course, where there is no more law enforcement. The law enforcement are the cartels, or many failed states where there is no law enforcement. It's militias or terrorists, right? It's one and the same.
Yeah, look at Gaza Strip. Gaza Strip is run by Hamas.
Totally. And when that happens, there's no more hope for citizens. You can never get your country back, because who do you go to? Who do you call? The people who are going to abduct you or conscript your teenage son against his will to fight in their militia, kidnap women to hold them hostage for money, like all the things that you and your friends are called in to fight. And
not only that, I will not give them credit, but I will recognize that in Gaza and places like that, they have huge voter turnout, because I have a feeling if you don't turn out while they're watching who you vote for, because there's really only one person to vote for.
Totally.
Yeah.
1,000%. Which is why it's very evil for people to say, oh, it doesn't matter if Gazans are being, massacred because they voted for Hamas. We have no reason to believe they can survive if they don't vote for Hamas. But all of that is kind of a detour. Going back to the main point, there is no rule of law if law enforcement is done away with and supplanted by, cartels and terrorists and non-citizens at the behest of anyone, right? We no longer have a country. This is so scary, honey. And when we have time and you come back, I'd like you to go into the money flow that you found. Right now, I have to hop off in like 4 minutes.
Okay, well, let me go into the soft siege, can I?
Sure, baby, but I literally have to hop off in 4 minutes.
You hop off if you have to. I just want you to see this. So the soft siege that I mentioned in the title is there's almost a conditioning happening here in Salem, where they have basically taken over our park with these giant, I don't know what you call them, guardian doll figures, which supposedly are some Dominican doll things. But check this out. I'll just run the video, Naomi. You're going to be shocked. I used Magic Movie, so I don't know how good it is, but this is shot this morning about an hour before this.
Oh my God. Those are so ugly.
They're massive.
They're massive and intimidating. They're like 12 feet high.
Look at this one. Look at this one. I don't know what's going on with this one.
Oh, honey, it's 1930s worker art.
I don't know. One lady has a laptop.
Well, it's 21st century Marxist workers art.
So for those that don't know, Magic Movie's that auto movie maker on the iPhone. I did this while we were talking. Look at them.
So creepy and hideous. It was a beautiful park with a beautiful view.
It was.
And the city, which has a lot of other needs, spent
Sorry, it's so shaky.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Look at this one.
Okay, well, I mean, I honor the forebears, but we also have a very important Puritan.
This is Salem, Massachusetts. I'm not sure how this speaks to our history.
Well, I mean, it could.
Unless we get to burn those at the end of the summer.
Right. Very funny.
And then it's almost like they've surrounded the park with these things.
Yeah, no, it's very intimidating.
And what's weird too is like a block away.
Yeah.
A block away from the park, where it's not even part of the park, it's like right adjacent to our little neighborhood. They have one there, almost like standing watch. And these things are what, Naomi, we could say like 12 feet tall.
They're 12 feet tall, and everyone hates them. Everyone in the neighborhood absolutely hates them. I don't understand the purpose, except to kind of symbolically claim the area as really not part of our heritage, essentially, like some. It's not even any specific other North American heritage. It's literally like not America, like
Dominican. It's Dominican. It's not even Haitian. It's Dominican.
And no disrespect to Dominican people, but I'm seeing the kind of negation of America, American symbolism, American history. I would even respect it if it was the tribe that was there before the Puritans. But I don't think that that's what we're seeing. I think we're seeing completely random.
Well, and the thing.
Sure.
You are right. And so the guys that cut my hair are Dominican, and they waited in line for 5 years to get just a green card. and they're
Right.
pissed about this, and they hate these statues. I was talking to them yesterday. It's not something. It's all pushed by the upper middle in this town, by the upper middle class people in Marblehead and Beverly
I'm
that
sorry.
you got into an argument with,
Right.
who are pushing this stuff that nobody wants. That's public property.
Yeah. Well, and it's our tax dollars, honey.
Yeah, it does. And if you go to I'll leave it. I know you got to go, but
Me too.
over on Twitter, I'll pin it to the top of my tweet.
Well,
But
baby,
I did put the website to this project on there.
can I just show everyone before I go something that I prepared, which is very important, which
Yeah.
is
What do you got?
I've got share screen and I'm going to share LegiSector. So this is our incredible new digital platform that everyone needs to sign up for. We're aiming at 3,000 subscriptions and you get a free 30-day trial. But if you want to be on top of any one of 24 really important issues by sector, this will show you live state and federal legislation in that sector. So I looked up immigration. This is what I got in the search. And I'm sorry, I refreshed it badly. So I'm going to go back and show you. Here you have uh, all of the categories, and here's immigration. So this shows you the top trending bills, and a lot of these will solve the problems that we're seeing. For instance, here's the Secure the Southern Border Act, HB 2003. It's a pretty recent bill. It hasn't gone out of the subcommittee on immigration citizenship. You see the whole journey of it. If you click here, you get an AI summary as well as the text, and you can see that it's a pretty red bill. You can see right there what Democrats are doing and not doing. There's one Democrat supporting it. There's Lauren Boebert. And you can click there and get alerts. And you can also share it through social media. So there's the bill summary. It takes these giant bills, like the big, beautiful bill, 1,000 pages, and summarizes the key points. And it prevents it makes previous presidential immigration policies permanent, focusing on stricter border control and immigration enforcement to reduce unauthorized entries across the southern U.S. border. So, guys, that's just one example of how you can stay on top of, especially if you're in these industries, defense, cannabis, agriculture, environment, family, finance, infrastructure, immigration, I just showed you, firearms, public lands, national parks, real estate. If you're a realtor or invest in real estate, owning your home, you've got to know about that. Reproductive rights, student loans, air quality, telecommunications, voting rights, alcoholic beverages, crime, energy, gaming, waste management, healthcare, housing, international. It goes on to 24 categories. All of them are what you want, and cybersecurity, veterans, sweetheart, you can stay on top of your veteran benefits there. AI, incredibly important. So it's only under $12 a month. I really encourage all of you to sign up for your free trial. If you like it, keep it. Not only does it help us bring you independent reporting and tools like this and BillCam, where you can share any state or federal bill, you will never again not know what's really happening, especially in your field. So that's LegiSector, and I just gave you one example of how useful it is in staying on top of immigration. If you're an elected, if you work for an elected, if you're a challenger, if you're a nonprofit, an advocacy group, or just a citizen, or an investor, hedge fund manager, accountant, in healthcare, any of these, you really want LegiSector. Our competitor is LexisNexis States, and they're like hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month, and we are under $12 a month. So please sign up for LegiSector. I've got to go, sweetheart. So
Yeah, I'm throwing the banner in
all right.
the
Thank you.
thing. Okay, she had to go. By the way, Naomi has the worst abrupt cutoffs, so we are used to that. She just disappears. So, anyways, let me get the right screen here. I don't like this. Hold on. I don't know what happened here. All right, doesn't matter. Okay, so anyways, okay, forget it. That's the thing about these third-party platforms. You just never know what you're going to get. So she left. So, anyways, let me show you guys this. I don't know what's going on with my picture here, but it's all messed up. Okay, so the other thing is, oh yeah, so LegiSector, here it is. Check it out. It is really cool, and you can interact with it. So there's that. There we go. That door was bothering me. Excuse me for that. This is my temporary studio here in Salem. So, but my son helped me with I let him pick out some cool faux bricks behind us. So it's coming along. I like it. It's very Salem. All right. So got a few comments here. I'll definitely take these. Got someone laughing at me. I don't blame you. Another person laughing. I'm guessing that's funny. I like the Cookie Monster. But yes, it's true. Yeah, so guys, what I'm gonna leave you with though here is I want you to think. Well, no, actually, I won't play it out because she likes this to end. Unfortunately, I don't own this entire show, so I can't do exactly what I want. But I'll leave this link up for you, and we'll just roll it from there. But yeah, this thing in Salem's really bothering me. It's called. Let me share this screen. Now, I should save this for my own show, but I'll share the screen. Sorry, I wasn't planning on doing this today, but Naomi reminded me that she had a very tight window, so I'm sorry, not better prepared. I will do better next time. Okay, so here is the thing running, and I'm putting this up. I know you don't live in Salem, but the thing is, this seems like they're doing this all over the country, and I don't know the point of it, but you can see here, like, look at the kind of, these are the people running it. She's not Dominican, okay, but this is called the Muñecas sin Rostro in Salem. Is a placemaking sculptural project, I don't know what that means, and creative educational arts initiative launched by Punto Urban Art Museum, PUAM, a social justice arts program of North Shore Community Development Coalition. So, yep, definitely going to have to look into who they are. One of PUAM's goals is to positively improve the lives of North Shore residents through public art, particularly... Okay, I won't go through the whole thing. Let me tell you something. They're not improving the lives of anyone because, if they have a picture here, first of all, these things are ugly as hell. Second of all, they only represent one culture, even though they're claiming that this is supposed to be, like, equitable and all-inclusive. All I see is Dominican culture displayed on these statues, if you could call them that. By the way, I met him this morning. He speaks not a lick of English. Sorry, but that really bothers me. But you can see these are the different areas, like the 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas that this is happening. They just appeared like this. They're like 12 feet tall. And they say they're improving the lives of people, but they stuck some of these things right in front of people's houses. Like, people live down here to have a view of the ocean, and this is not a rich neighborhood. A lot of the people, like, right next to us are low-income housing, mainly elderly. They stuck one of these statues right in front of this old lady's, like porch. And I was sitting down talking to her, and she's like, I don't even know what that thing is. And it's this giant statue now that she can see right when she walks out of her home. And we're talking, like, low-income elderly people that need assistance. And they also told them, oh, by the way, we're cutting off your maintenance to pay for some of these things. So it's pretty messed up. Unfortunately, I haven't been that involved in the community here, but I think I need to be because I'm only here part-time. But I do feel like if we're not involved, this kind of nonsense happens. And I'm sorry, but these things, they need to go. Like, if this will not be a permanent fixture in Salem. I'm not saying I'm going to do anything. I'm not saying if I see anyone else doing something to them, I will stop or report them, because aside from the potential covert influence that these things seem to be trying to change the culture, the historical footprint of Salem, which is not a great history, but it's history. It's kind of a dark history, as you all know. But the thing is, it is our history. So when you start mixing up people's history, they forget who they are, and it's the best way to attack nationalism. And I am a nationalist populist, and that will not happen on my watch. But look, unfortunately, for the artists and stuff, I will say there's a lot of the locals don't like them, and I know the way these locals roll, and it's not going to be pretty. And they're not just white locals; they're like Dominicans, and the Haitians are pissed. The Haitians in the neighborhood are pissed. They're like, "Where's our representation?" The Irish are pissed. I'm pissed. Um, and the crazy part about it is, it's all upper middle class white women who are leading the charge on this thing. So I don't know. Anyways, this has been Brian O'Shea, and I got to get JJ Carroll back up on here. This has been Brian O'Shea, and Naomi Wolf had to get to another appointment in the Lair. Tune in all the time. We will get this show a lot more structured. We have busy schedules. She's now in one place, I'm in another. So we coordinate as much as we can. If there are topics you think we should present for the show, by all means, send them to me or Naomi or both of us. And you could just send those to info@dailyclout.io, Naomi at dailyclout.io, or Brian at dailyclout.io. Doesn't mean we're going to do your topic, but if it's something that really affects a lot of people nationwide, and it's also got some actionable steps that people can take to do something about it, those are the kind of stories we like. So, like, for instance, I'm going to propose that we just fill the park with statues of all American soldiers, like something like that. Who knows? But yeah, make sure your topic is something that has far reach. This has far reach because it's happening in other cities and other states, and make sure it's something that local action might have an impact on, and that's what we're looking for. And also, if you just have a really interesting story, like you saw, like a UFO, or the government is setting up a Pfizer factory in the elementary school, we want to know about that too. So reach out to us. We want this to be your show. This is just Naomi and I sharing a normal conversation that many we'd have throughout the day, wherever we are. So, all right, everyone take care. And I don't know, we need a good slogan. But anyways, take care and make sure you get out of the Lair and into the sunlight, and figure out what's going on, and stay frosty, stay vigilant, and always fight for America. All right, take it easy. Bye.